Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome. I'm Adriana. I'm a soul guidance coach. I help sensitive, self-reflective souls choose maximum growth. I have a message for you today, an intuitive message about your spiritual journey. Let's go ahead and get started. Strength card, the Wheel, Princess of Pentacles, and the Chariot moving forward. Okay. I want to read these all at once, even though we're on two different levels. Our inside cards are more your inner world, and these outside cards are the outer world. But they're all kind of flowing together so nicely, I want to read them all at once. Okay, let's start with the Chariot energy. The Chariot energy is definitely a forward-moving energy. It's almost as if the willpower of yourself and the universe align to shoot things forward. But there's a feeling that you are going in a direction that is, it's trite to say it, you're in a direction that is going to take you in a new place. To a new place, and this direction is not necessarily something you have control over. You're being pulled by horses that are stronger than you. We'll just say that, okay? You're being guided into this particular direction. Okay, now let's go to the Princess and the Wheel, because those are quieter energies than the Chariot. I'm going to put you down for a second, Chariot. Okay, Princess of Pentacles and the Wheel. The Princess of Pentacles is this really sweet, soft, curious energy that's investigating, kind of saying, all right, we're kind of on this train ride. What do I want to be looking at? What do I want to be seeing in my world? She's this little pause, like this little breath before the whoosh, before the big storm. It's this little pause where you get to kind of dial the kaleidoscope to see exactly what you want to see. So this Princess of Pentacles, on the inside, she's reminding you to stay grounded, because although the Chariot is moving you on the outside, you're still able to tweak the direction. You can't completely change the direction, but there's little tweaks you can make. Kind of like, when you're driving, you don't just keep your hands like this on the wheel. You're constantly making these tiny corrections. That's kind of what's happening here. And funny, the wheel, hands on the steering wheel. And look what she's holding, a round wheel. So even though the direction of this Chariot is moving, you're still kind of fine-tuning it a little bit. And when you get clear on what those little fine-tunings are, then you help that wheel kind of turn. What specific fine-tunings are we talking about? The fine-tunings they're not really deep things. They're more superficial things to kind of figure out, okay, if this is the direction I'm going, what are the little things I'd like to see? This is not really deep soul searching, okay? This is not going down in there into the depths and bringing back up. This is a bit more of a superficial energy. Okay, so these are tiny little details on the surface. Now we come to the Strength card. Our Strength card is talking to us. Okay, this is where you get to involve your heart and soul. The Strength card is asking you to involve yourself with this process, with all your heart. So even though those little details or these little things are superficial, even though the overall direction is determined by something else greater than you, this Strength card is still asking you to show up as if you are the one in the driver's seat, because actually you are the one in the driver's seat. This is where it gets a little confusing. Because, it's your higher self and the part of you that's connected to Source that is driving this journey forward. And this is asking you to integrate the heart and the ego so that the ego is not resisting any part of this journey, that you're actually just going along for the ride with all parts of you. So that's it. It's the superficial and the deep, the cosmic and the small, the ego and the self, that all of you are going on board with this, that the ego is on board with this. So if I were to walk up to your ego in a bar or in a coffee shop and say, hey, tell me about this journey you're on, the ego would be telling me exactly what your inner self and your soul are telling me. They're on the same page. Okay? This alignment is very important. We had the wheels on the inside, the steering wheels on the inside, but we have duality on these forces that are on the outside bigger than you. The woman and the animal, the two horses. I know it's three, but it's being drawn by two horses. The shadow and the light, the dark and the light. If you want the feminine, the masculine, the ego and the soul. Both of those are driving the chariot. So this alignment is important. The alignment is what's needed to keep you on your path. If you're worried about falling off your path or not being on your path, it's all about alignment, getting every part of you to embrace the path so that it's one. There's a oneness, there's an alignment. See, these vertical figures it's so interesting, isn't it? We have the vertical figures on the outside, and then we have these round kind of moving figures on the inside. So when I think about vertical, I think about the spine and the energy of the entire Kundalini, whereas the circle, I think more of the sacral chakra, things starting to move and things starting to happen. So it's getting all of that together. It's getting your motor running, but also your direction involved. So aligning with yourself, trusting this process. Trusting, getting your ego to trust this process also. It may not be what you think it's going to be. You may be seeing it differently unfold than what your ego would like. The path may be a little bit odd, but the important thing is that you're in control of it on many different levels. It's about using the finesse to know which level you're supposed to be controlling, right? So the direction is not in your control, but the tiny little corrections to that direction, the kind of little superficial details you can work out, those are within your control. Okay, we're going to draw one more card for you. Let's see what this is about. Prince of Wands. Okay, and the Prince of Wands is you, Sagittarius. So we're back to that idea of alignment. So Prince of Wands is that mutable, moving energy. Wands are fire. So this card I see very aligned with Sagittarius also because he takes after his ideal. So this reading is more than just telling you about your week. It's telling you about the whole reason you're here. The Sagittarius is a centaur, which is a horse on the bottom and a human on the top. And for the ancient Greeks, that represented the animal nature and the higher self, the higher human nature. It's actually very similar to the strength card, the lower nature and the higher nature. But the whole reason why you're here, Sagittarius, is to get those in line so that you can be that philosopher idealist who puts their plans into action, who realizes that ideal world, who finds it wherever they're looking for it. Okay? You have that ideal world in your head and you're in a quest for it. And it is the job of the Sagittarius to quest. But you can't be fighting yourself. The horse can't be running the show completely. The human self can't be running the show completely. The higher self, it has to be all in alignment because it is the horse that carries that higher self forward. We've had a lot of horse stuff here. There's a lot of horses in your reading. So the purpose of your life is that alignment between being happy on all levels, being aligned and okay, and well contained in all levels. And I'll just throw you one more image. If you remember the movie Dark Crystal, with those crazy looking Muppets. And the theme, I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it, but it's all about alignment, where you have two factions fighting each other, and in the end, they align to become this super transcendent being. That's the same kind of thing going on here. That when you can get all of yourself agreeing and aligned, you become this super transcendent being that is able to manifest and do its sole purpose in the way you were meant to do. Oh, that was a fun one, Sag. Thanks so much for joining me, and thank you for sharing your time and energy. I'd love to ask you to please subscribe and share this channel if you haven't already. And if you are looking for an intuitive reading or some one-on-one soul guidance sessions to help you further, please check out my website, Soul Guidance with Adriana. There's a link in the description below. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great week.